Thank you, President LeDuc, for those kind remarks, far too generous. Board of Directors, President and Dean LeDuc, Associate Deans at the Law School, professors, family, friends, and guests of the graduates-to-be, and last but not least, the 2014 Gabriel Duvall graduating class, the first to graduate from what is now Western Michigan University, Thomas M. Cooley Law School. It is my great honor to have been invited to speak to you on this most special day. Let me first congratulate today's graduates for successfully navigating and completing the arduous journey through law school. It's quite an accomplishment and one that can never be taken away from you. I also congratulate your spouses, family, and friends who have provided you with the moral and sometimes financial support that has brought you to this stage in life's journey. I want to share with you today some thoughts and observations that I have after 18 years' experience as a practicing trial lawyer, 26 years as a judge on the Michigan Court of Appeals, the state's second highest court, and 69 years of life experiences. As I look out into this crowd of soon-to-be law school graduates, it is like I am looking into a mirror. Admittedly, it's an old mirror. For when I began practicing law long ago, some of you I know are sitting there thinking that the law was written on parchment and lawyers wrote with quill pens. Not true. But there were no computers, no Westlaw, no Lexis, and we shepherdized cases by hand. But I do recall my graduation from law school some 44 years ago. And as I look at you, I can only imagine the possibilities exist for you to make of your lives in the law, where your life's journey will take you, and what you will want to have said about you 44 years from now. I sat in your seat 44 years ago, and like you, wondered what the future held. Oh, I had dreams. I knew I was entering an honorable profession. I knew that once I became a lawyer, I wanted to help people and serve the public, and I trust that many of you have similar desires. But I also was dealing with the realities that many of you are facing today. First, the need to take and pass the bar examination, and concern and anxiety about that process. Well, I did pass it, and so can you. You have received the type of legal education, substantively and ethically, that has provided you with the foundation you need to enter the legal profession. You wouldn't be graduating today if you didn't apply yourself and have what it takes. Now simply prepare for the bar exam with the same dedication you exhibited during your studies here at Cooley. Then finding the first job as a lawyer, and whether you will be able to pursue your passion or practice in an area of law that you prefer. Now, some of you may be fortunate enough to have a job lined up, and we know the traditional job market is tight. But for those of you who are still looking, don't be discouraged. Persevere. With your law degree, you hold the keys to the future, whether it is in the traditional law setting or any other endeavor where your law school education and developed analytical skills will enable you to pursue traditional or non-traditional paths. And finally, there is the never-ending concern about educational debt. I'm sure this is on many of your minds today, perhaps your parents also. Let me share with you a very personal story that may provide you with some comfort. My wife, Paula, who is here with me today, and I were married the summer after we completed our undergraduate degree. Paula's degree was in education, and she landed a job as a first-grade teacher in the Detroit area. I was starting law school at Wayne State University in Detroit. Now, our plan was for Paula to teach and support us while I attended law school and worked part-time when I could. Within a few months of our marriage, Paula became pregnant with our first daughter. And although unexpected, we were happy with the news. Unfortunately, the school where Paula taught was not. She was teaching first grade, and if you can believe this policy, the school didn't want a woman teaching first graders if it was apparent she was with child. Apparently, the school was afraid that the young children might inquire, how did that happen? Now, as a lawyer, wouldn't you love to have that case today? At any rate, we struggled through law school, had a second daughter before graduation. Paula remained at home caring for our two daughters. I took whatever part-time work I could get, and finally I graduated. But to survive those 3 years, in addition to some part-time work, scholarships, and funds for providing research assistance to one of my professors, and I thank him to this day, we had to take out student loans. So when I graduated from law school, we owed thousands of dollars of student loans. Now, in looking in the mirror, I put myself in your position. The future, although filled with hope and dreams, faced great uncertainty, and we had concerns as to how we would ever be able to pay off these student loans. Well, we did, and so will you. It won't occur overnight, but it will occur. My recollection is that it took us 10 years to pay off the student loans that enabled me to get a law degree. There is not a day that goes by that I don't believe the life I and my family have been able to live, both personally and professionally, were worth the money we borrowed to obtain the law degree, a degree that has opened the door to so many wonderful life and professional experiences for us. So, graduates to be, bottom line, don't fret it. It will work out. And by the way, we eventually had and raised 4 educated daughters who are wonderful young women today, and we proudly have 7 grandchildren to date. I really want to convey to you, soon-to-be graduates, that the challenges, fears, obstacles that you will encounter in setting up your careers are not dissimilar to those that I and others on this stage have faced, but they all can be overcome with perseverance, hard work, dedication to the profession, and ever-present hope. As you go forward as a law school graduate, and ultimately as a lawyer, you will make mistakes. Learn from those mistakes and recover from them. Don't always choose the well-worn, comfortable path. Instead, dare to stretch yourself and your abilities, to accept hard tasks and try things that are new and different. And don't fear failure. Failure is a teacher. Most people take more lessons from failure than from success. So step up to the tough moments and daunting challenges. Don't shrink from them. Learn to know the difference between criticism and disagreements that are personal and those that go with the job. Conflicts and sharp words usually are rooted in cases, policies, or positions taken, especially in politics and in law, where combat is part of the work. Many people take personally everything that is said about them. Others know it's not personal, and maintain working or personal relationships. The many stories about Tip O'Neill and Jerry Ford are in that category. They would fight it out on the floor of the House of Representatives and then go and have a beer together. Same was true with Tip O'Neill and President Ronald Reagan. Big people with good perspectives can do that. Their lesser brethren struggle along with grudges and resentments and shoulder chips. As a lawyer, be willing to be unpopular, to take the uncommon or unaccepted positions. Atticus Finch makes that point in To Kill a Mockingbird. Here in Michigan, Clarence Darrow took the case of a black man who was accused of killing whites in a mob outside his home. You may be called upon someday by a judge to represent someone who has been charged with a heinous crime. This occurred with me early in my practice. In my view, this is your obligation as a lawyer. If you represent your client as a prepared, competent advocate, then the legal system will work. You owe that to our system of justice. Now, you will not always be successful in life or in the practice of law. Be prepared to take setbacks and move on. I personally won cases as a trial lawyer, and I lost cases as a trial lawyer. I personally won in the arena of politics, elections, and I lost elections. I had a potential federal judicial position derailed by political considerations. But my point is this: you can't let yourself be defeated by setbacks. When they occur, and they will, you need to regroup and move forward as any successful person would do. Be willing to work with people who are different or have and do not share your views. Beneath the disagreements, they may like, appreciate, and even admire you. Respect who you are as a lawyer and what you do. The law isn't just a line of work. It's not just a paycheck. Sure, it's the butt of jokes, from the out-of-context line from a Shakespeare character which has echoed for centuries. First, let's kill all the lawyers. But the law is a profession. It has a code of ethics in which you have been well educated. You will have duties to your clients, but also responsibilities to the administration of justice. You will soon be an officer of the court. The New York State Bar Association prepared a statement on professionalism, which I think is spot on, and I quote, "Attorney professionalism is dedicated to service to clients and commitment to promoting respect of the legal system in pursuit of justice and the public good, characterized by ethical conduct, competence, good judgment, integrity, and civility." Every graduate in this room has the ability and God-given talent to go out in this world and make a difference in people's lives. Now, making a difference isn't limited to winning multi-million-dollar lawsuits or successfully defending against such suits or obtaining first-degree murder convictions in high-profile criminal cases or successfully defending against such prosecutions. Nor does it mean solely representing the rich, the powerful, or the famous, or handling cases of notoriety or cases that only have a wide appeal or impact. You can make an enormous difference and a memorable difference in the lives of everyday people by simply handling misdemeanor charges, counseling clients in divorce, child custody and support matters, probating simple estates, setting up estate plans, guardianships, conservatorships, representing children, parents, or the state in parental termination cases, assisting in adoption proceedings, structuring mom-and-pop businesses, facilitating economic relationships, advocating in boundary disputes between neighbors, obtaining compensation for those injured on the job or through negligence, defending against claims of negligence, and otherwise assisting people with their legal problems and issues. Never forget that the services you provide, which may become second nature to you after a while, may mean everything to a client. In attempting to make a difference, strive to maintain the qualities of a good lawyer, admired by the bench and bar, and reject a win at any cost approach. And what are some of these qualities of a good lawyer? First, a strong work ethic, embracing preparedness, punctuality, thoroughness, and the improvement of skills and acquisition of knowledge. Second, an immovable ethical center, embracing honesty, integrity, fairness, respect for others, professionalism, and civility. Third, a devoted commitment to and love of the law, and a genuine and passionate desire to assist your clients through the law. An ability to engage in critical thinking and to exercise good judgment, exploring all the legal possibilities at your disposal on the basis of facts, information, evidence, and the law. The attribute that I want to focus on for the remainder of my remarks is civility. I would like to share with you some thoughts consistent with those that I gave an incoming Cooley class on the topic of professionalism. Perhaps it was this class, and if so, please excuse a bit of redundancy, but it's an important issue and a little reinforcement won't hurt. It seems that in today's world, unfortunately, uncivil, impolite, and obnoxious behavior is often rewarded and not punished or frowned upon. Acting with civility in the practice of law may be a challenge at times. However, the goal of civility is certainly achievable if you focus your attention on what truly matters, contemplate and understand your role within the legal system, and if you maintain the proper perspective. Civil and criminal legal battles occur every day across the state and country, creating ripe environments for incivility and fraught with emotions that might get the better of even a seasoned litigator. Now, the practice of law is often grounded in advocating positions with which others disagree, followed by resolution of those differences by independent arbiters. But simply because you're advocating for one side and disagree with the position taken by others does not mean that you need to act disrespectfully or uncivilly toward the opposition. If you ever find yourself in a situation where it becomes a struggle to remain civil, you need to take a step back. Recall what professionalism is all about. Remember your ethical obligations. Gather yourself and go forward with civility. By giving a measure of respect to the court, brother or sister counsel, and his or her client, no matter the nature of their behavior, you will be acting in accordance with the highest principles expected of you, and you will be able to honestly say that you acted with civility. In this way, you will maintain your dignity and the dignity of the profession. When you act civilly towards others, the civility will often be reciprocated, having a pay-it-forward effect. William Shakespeare wrote in Taming of the Shrew, "And do as adversaries do in law, strive mightily, but eat and drink as friends." When I speak of civility, I'm not limiting it to how you interact with judges, opposing counsel, and parties only, but also with all court personnel and any other person that may be associated with a case. Indeed, I believe acting with civility should be a way of life in general. The legal system in and of itself is one predicated on principles of civility, in that we decided as a nation that when one commits a crime or a civil wrong, or there is a dispute between parties, people are not free to take matters into their own hands through the exercise of force, threats, power, or violence. Rather, we have decided to resolve our differences and to address wrongful conduct or disputes through an orderly, peaceful system of laws in the legal process, or in other words, through a system of civility. Now, as you go forward with your legal careers, I implore you to practice law with civility. The profession of law is often maligned by the public, in part because of the uncivil actions of a very few that capture the attention of the media but are not representative of the bar as a whole. It is our duty, each one of us, to act with the greatest of civility in order to maintain or restore the faith of the public in our honorable profession. Despite what some may say, civility is not a sign of weakness. Rather, civility is a sign of confidence and strength, and incivility is an expression of fear, is often used as a means of distraction, and it is incivility itself that constitutes weakness. Practicing civility will not stifle advocacy, will not stifle passion, will not stifle debate, and it should be the norm by which all discourse takes place. Let me conclude by sharing with you what I say when I'm asked to address newly admitted members of the bar. I stress to the new lawyers that they are entering into an honorable profession. I encourage them to be problem solvers, not problem makers. You soon will have the opportunity to join that honorable profession. You too will have the opportunity to be problem solvers. I encourage you to make that part of your mission. So when you reach the point in your professional life, 44 years from now, as I have, you can look back and say, job well done, that you have contributed to assuring that the profession of law remains an honorable profession. It's up to you. Western Michigan University, Thomas M. Cooley Law School, your professors, your classmates, your family, your friends, and now I join those who have absolute confidence in you. Conduct yourself in the profession so that our confidence is well placed. I congratulate you graduates and wish you the best of luck in all your future endeavors. Thank you for the honor of addressing you on this very special occasion.